Hi, everybody. Great to have you back. Today we have a special, super special interview with Jacob Pepper, who is going to talk with me about diversity in dynamics as a young professional. So listen in carefully, give him all the kudos to be the first, to get his cherry popped, and let's go. So, everybody, for diversity in dynamics, I have Jacob Pepper here, and I like to always get started right away with the hard questions. What does bringing your full self to work mean to you? And when did that become important in your young career?
Yeah, absolutely. So I would say bringing your full self to work means that you don't have to mask around the people who you are like in coworkers with. So it's just you don't have to worry about, oh, like how I like say something or just like for example as like a gay man it's just like how I like speak it can be like more effeminate or just more like in slang or just I can feel free to like be myself at work and not feel like punished or just oh I have to act straight or oh do whatever. So I think in that context, like bringing your full self to work is just like not being afraid to be yourself. But I think that in conferences and stuff that it means just not being afraid to reach out to people or meet new people and just I guess there is a part about being yourself where it's like you have to be confident enough to put yourself out there. So it's just like feeling like you're safe enough to put yourself out there, I would say in conferences and stuff. So it's having a team that really empowers you to be yourself, but also encourages you like in conferences or other things to just put yourself out there and will have your back or defend you. So I think in terms of that, but
Okay, cool. So we met at Directions North America. You were
yes.
part of the people in the audience when we did a panel discussion about diversity and dynamics. You came up after me, after the session to me, proudly showing your rainbow colored
Watch fan,
Apple
yes, that I'm
Watch.
not wearing right now, but that I'm not.
Yeah, and I thought, yeah, this is maybe a small token or gesture that I really appreciate because I think that is something we need, even if it's not streamy at all, because you told me and then I looked and I saw it. So it's not like you are wearing like a full rainbow
Yeah.
cape. So it was very subtle, but I think that is if that helps anything, that would be great. So I really appreciated that. And also that you coming to me afterwards a session, which was our first session in North America. So it was a little bit tricky. Some of the team didn't want to bring their rainbow bracelets and those kind of things. So we there was a little bit of a fuzzy feeling when everything went smoothly. You started a couple of years ago. Did you start it as a, or did you announce that you were gay when you started at this job, or did you that it
So
changed for you, or
because I started virtually and I still work virtually. So for the first few months, it was I didn't really bring it up or it wasn't really felt like something that was like worth mentioning. But like I would say just in the workplace, like in the way that like a husband would mention their wife or family or just oh like on the weekend it's this is just what we did. It's I guess like in those settings, like I wouldn't really say it's oh like I have a boyfriend, oh I have whatever that I spent my weekends like doing this. So for a while, like I didn't really say much, but then once we started to meet in person and go to conferences, it was very obvious. It's okay, I'm gay, and it was fine. But I guess it's just to that point though. It's like my team is like five other straight men, and it's just me. So it's like the fact that it's like I'm the diversity at our organization is a problem, just because it's oh it's like I'm the most diverse person and I'm just like I'm a white man still, even though I'm gay. It's been accepting, and they've been all nice and wonderful. But at first, it wasn't really something that I shared about, just because it didn't really feel relevant. It's not really something that it's like. I want to be out and like to be myself, but it's also back to that point of I'm not like being flamboyant or like wearing like rainbows. It's not like that's not like my like goal or like advocacy for this space. I guess it's just I'm here to do business, obviously, but it's like I'm gonna show up as my full self and not hide that part of myself. I would say so. It's I would definitely say that it's just yeah, it came up, but not in that type of way, but just in it's like I'm gay. That's just another aspect of myself, and just showing up to work as myself every day.
yeah, no, all good for me. What do you want to understand about the LGBTQ AI plus experience in tech business? Just to group us all together, we're all the same, so that's great. So, how do you see that work for everybody in the channel, but also in your private life or business life?
Yeah. So the question is what I would like to learn from them, or
Yeah, and the
okay.
experience. Yeah,
Yeah, I guess so. From the LGBTQIA plus tech professionals, I guess a few things that I'm interested in probably is just I think that like just being gay, a lot of times people think, oh, like you're not gonna get married or have a wife or have a children or like that like heteronormative like timeline is like not really applied to you anymore. So it's just like how do these people like how do like they structure their daily lives? It's what do their like family structures look like over time? It's do they own their own businesses? Just what does that look like? And just I guess just because it seems like a lot of for LGBTQ people, it's like we're denied the normal like heteronormative timeline of just oh get married, own a house, have kids and stuff. So it's just like what is their like I guess like work-life balance look like in terms of just yeah, just what does it look like to be an LGBTQ professional just like in who's 30 or 40 or 50 and just has like more autonomy and makes more money or just does more things. So it's just yeah, just how they like live their lives and just like pretty interested in and just to model it for what is possible for me.
No, I understand. I don't have kids' holidays. I don't
Yeah.
have to drop my kids off at school in the morning. So I don't have that hassle. I don't have to wake anybody up to say, hey, it's time to
Yeah.
go to school. No lunch boxes and nothing of that. That doesn't mean that I don't want kids or never thought about it, but it's a different life perspective. I'm also a legal guardian for some kids. And when they stay over, I'm always exhausted. And it's even for a weekend. And it's like all the freedom that I normally have gone. So I'm not jealous of parents with kids. Trust me, I'm not. I'm happy with my life, but I think that is something, the normative thing that everybody thinks. What did you do with your kids in the weekend? How's the wife or the girlfriend? Did you go for dinner or whatsoever? I had that the same in many trade shows I went to. The same ISV always came up to me and said, how's your girlfriend? And I was like, already for 5 years, I don't have one. So he didn't get it, but no worries.
Yeah.
But true about that. So the next one for me is what's one thing someone did, knowingly or unknowingly, that made you feel truly included or empowered in this industry?
Yeah, so I would say that it was my very first community summit in Charlotte in 2023, and I would say that it was my boss introducing me to my professional mentor, Sam Bush. I would say that it was just he realized that it was like, okay, like we're a smaller team. It's like this is your first summit, and it's like you're not really going to know people. So he took it like it initiative to introduce me to the people that like he knew, but like also let me have space to like network and meet like my own people. So it's just I would say that him introducing me to like his few people in the channel who he really was friends with and appreciated opened the door for me to make my own connections and have a mentor outside of my organization was really powerful just for knowing how to go forward with things and getting speaking sessions and really like yeah, I would say just meeting a few key mentors like Sam and but
Okay, now shout out to Sam then to get you
yeah,
introduced. I think
for sure.
good one.
Yeah.
I will write down the name later on, the big tag on there is. Shout out. For me, diversity is just a checkbox. For me, diversity means putting things in boxes so the rest of the world understands what we're talking about and to grasp some of the concepts. What's something companies think they're doing well on inclusion, but according to you, they're off or they missed the mark or they can improve?
Yeah, so I would say that some things that companies think that they're doing well probably just comes down to the hiring process. So it's just like it's and not to call it like my organization for anything that's I don't necessarily think it's like an issue, but most of us like went to Michigan State and have Michigan State degrees. I think it's just hiring people who are very much it's oh like what makes a good team sometimes is like homogenous traits where we're all the same. So it's just I would say that just like more homogenous hiring practices. So it's even though I'm the only gay person in my org, it's like we're still like straight white men mostly. So it's just like hiring people who are just different from you who have different perspectives is a challenge for a lot of organizations, but also just I would say just like making sure that like your like values are like aligned with like how you're like showing up at like events and stuff. So it's just it's all the ISVs and stuff are just like we're people focused or partner focused or a lot of the messaging around that, but it's still a lot of the same generic stuff. So making sure your people and your practices are aligned, and I would say that just like hiring people who are different from you.
I think that would always be the best, not to hire the same.
Yes,
You don't need mini me's, especially not in the sales team.
absolutely.
I think from people that write code, maybe they need some of the same marks as the rest, but from the other points, for sales, don't have all mini me's. I think that wouldn't work out, but that's just my personal opinion. If you could design an, let's say, Directions Orlando 2026 to be the most inclusive event, what will be different in your ultimate drawing? And it can be any event, but I'm just giving an example before
Yeah.
everybody goes crazy
So
on me. But
Someone did come up to me after directions and they did make a comment that was like, oh, it was unfortunate that the diversity and dynamics wasn't a full lunch on. It was in conferences prior where it was just a breakout session. So I would say probably just the work that like you did in the panel, probably bring that into a lunch on maybe in some larger platform where it's just because the breakout session was helpful, but it's if you were able to find it, if you just checked the app, found the room, had
Yeah.
time to go like that day and that time. So it's, I would say probably just like bringing it to a larger scale in that way, but it was just like obviously start small, start like wherever. So it's just, it's important to like, it's cool to just see it like at the event, but I would say that just, yeah, maybe that to start from like a larger scale, have the lunch on, and then just, yeah, but I don't really know. I would say that probably just, yeah, start with a bigger event and just have it be like more speakers, just more people, and just, yeah, just have it be like more known, I guess.
Sure. Are you going to Summit, NA?
Yes, I am. Yes.
Maybe we should sync later on to see what we can do during Summit and reach
Yeah,
out to the
absolutely.
members of the board there. As far as I know, it's not on the schedule, so it will be a surprise. But let's have further discussion. Maybe we should do way more and do lunch there, or let's see what they're open to. I think for Summit NA, Orlando, we
Or
can
yeah, just like
absolutely do that.
eventually, like directions next year or something like, yeah.
But it's always good to keep a little bit of pressure also on event
Yeah.
organizers to get things moving. Otherwise, you will end up in a slide deck for 15 seconds during the keynote and then nobody knows anymore.
Sure.
You spoke about your mentor already, but do you have other allies in the community or outside of the community or people that help you in the community?
So I would say like specific allies at Directions last year, there was this person, this like older gay gentleman who approached me and was just like, we had a good conversation. It was very much just like, oh, like it was my first Directions, didn't really know like a ton of people. It was like the networking event, like the partner event that was like the final night. It was just like, oh, just like walking around aimlessly. And it was just like, it was nice that he was like, oh yeah, can see like you're gay and I'm also gay. And we just had a great conversation. And it was just like, oh, like it was cool to see, I guess, like an older person in the channel in that regard. So it's just, I do have definitely like my own like LGBT plus like members of the community that I like talk to and stuff like in the channel who it's cool to get like their like specific like perspectives on things and stuff. But so have an older gay male person in the channel who I look up to in addition to a few other women.
Okay, but it's building. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you find more, that's absolutely good. So people do
For
reach
sure.
out to Jacob. And my final question for today. You're a young, gay, LGBTQ plus member, professional. You're wondering about your place in the ecosystem, but especially to the newer generation or the younger generation, do you have some words of wisdom for them?
Yeah, absolutely. I would say just be yourself unapologetically. Don't take no for an answer. And also just whatever you think you deserve, just go out and get it. So it's just maybe that's not like the best advice, but it's just in terms of this, it's if you don't see yourself being represented, go be the representation like you wished you could have saw, or just I don't know, don't be afraid of making your own path if you don't see one that you like and you want to do yourself. I would say also, I really appreciate this career in this industry just because it does allow me to work virtually and be myself. And it's just, I can live in a city, for example, that's accepting and it allows me to be my full self. So it's just, I would say find something that you can do that allows you to have access to being your full self.
So great advice. And Milwaukee, I've never been there. The closest I came is Chicago.
Yeah,
Is
it's
that
like
an
pretty close.
open
Yeah.
gay community or is I don't know?
It's
So
pretty accepting. Yeah, there's a few like gay bars and lesbian bars, and there's a nice. I have a good group of people here, so yeah.
okay, cool. So Jacob, thank you for
Thank
today.
you. Yeah,
Thank
it's a
you
good
for
conversation.
speaking out for diversity and dynamics and sharing your insights. Thank you so much.
Yeah, of course. Thank you for having me.